Good morning, amazing people. I'm Inaze. Sorry that I've been absent recently. It's just that I've been kind of busy, but I'm going to get back on track with this, I promise you. So today I'm going to bring you a much calmer video, and I'm also trying to keep quiet because I think my mom's still sleeping upstairs. I wanted to give you a nice long book chat because I have been reading a lot, and these are just some of my favorite books that I've read recently. Honestly, all the books that I've read recently have been really good though. I used to not be into reading whatsoever when I was younger, but I just kind of discovered recently all of these amazing books, and that I was just kind of reading the wrong genre when I was younger, and now I love reading. It's kind of this amazing thing. I also discovered audiobooks and listening to it on the Overdrive app, which, by the way, this is not sponsored whatsoever by anyone. I just really love the Overdrive app because it connects to my local library and it gives me everything ebook wise and audiobook wise that they have, and it puts it right on my phone for me, which is really nice. And you don't need Wi-Fi or anything to read it, so like if you're in the car on a long road trip, it's gonna be there with you. So yeah, just thought I'd give a little shout out to the Overdrive app because it's really clever and it's really nice. So you should definitely go check that out. So let's get started, guys. The first book that I have for you guys today is Before I Fall. So this book looks extremely intimidating because it is 430 pages, I think. But in all honesty, it went by so fast because this book is written as if it were a movie. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just a lot easier to understand, and the way that sorry, that was my cat. The way that the author just writes everything is just really, I don't want to say relatable, but it's basically pretty relatable. Plus, this book just recently became a movie, and the movie is good, but it's honestly not as good as the book. I really wish it was. The cinematography in the movie is absolutely beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I just love this book. I love this book so much. If you like the book If I Stay, which is pretty small, you could start off with that one, too, if you haven't read that one. But this is basically like that. It's written the same way, so it's really nice and easy to read. Since I've been spending a lot of time at the library, I don't necessarily have all of these books on hand, but the next one that I wanted to talk about is a book called Mom and Me and Mom. So I'm a part of Emma Watson's book club on Goodreads, so if you need new good books every single month, that's definitely something that you should join. But in it, she recommended that we read this book called Mom and Me and Mom, written by Maya Angelou. I have already read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings for school, and I absolutely loved it. I just really love and appreciate Maya Angelou because she has been through so much in her life, and she still was able to come through all of that and write these incredible books. But Mom and Me and Mom would definitely have to be my favorite book by her. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is definitely a classic, so if you haven't read that, I suggest that you maybe start off with that one. But also, I just love Mom and Me and Mom because you discover so much that you didn't know about Maya Angelou. She's just a very inspiring woman, so I think that everyone needs to appreciate her and the stuff that she has done. So therefore, you should definitely go check out her book, Mom and Me and Mom. So the next book has been floating around the internet a lot. This is called Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I think it's Rupi Kaur. Correct me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I suggest that you check it out because it's just, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Just everything in it. Poetry is something that I've never really been able to write as much as I really want to, but I'm just not good at writing poetry, so I have an extreme appreciation for people that can write poetry. So this book, go check it out, it's beautiful. Yeah. So the next book that I highly recommend, I do not have a copy with me again because it is at the library. It is The Vagina Monologues. Now if you are 16 years old and up, I highly recommend that you read this because it just really opens up your eyes to this term in general, and it just kind of shows you all these different stories and different experiences that women have had with this. And the person that wrote this obviously had good intentions in mind, and that was put through the book, and I'm extremely appreciative of what it has become, and I highly recommend that everyone in the entire world read this book. Aliens too, if you're out there. So another book that I definitely recommend, well, books, but this is a collection of his writings, is Anything Literally by Edgar Allan Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe so much. I just think his writing is so vivid and it's so intense in a way that it just really captures your attention. I don't remember much from middle school, but if there is one thing that I remember, it is reading The Pit and the Pendulum, because it is extremely vivid and it was just such an enticing story. I just love how horrific all of his stuff is too. If it's kind of a dreary day outside, you know, and you don't feel like reading like a cutesy like little book, you can always cuddle up and read some Edgar Allan Poe. The stories that I would recommend by him, of course, the classic The Raven. Pit and the Pendulum's really good. The one about the old man and his eye, I always forget the name of that one. The Telltale Heart? I think it's The Telltale Heart. That one's a good one too. The Fall of the House of Usher is really good too. The Cask of Amontillado is really good. I had to read a lot of these for class, and every single one that I've read I've really enjoyed, and I highly recommend that other people check them out too. It's good for probably like middle schoolers and up. I don't think people of younger age would understand it, but I think middle school and up is good. And finally, the book that I'm reading recently is To Kill a Mockingbird, and this is actually for school. So far, I really love this. I love the way that she describes everything in this book. I think it's absolutely beautiful. My favorite pages in this, I think, are 42 and 43, because it talks about, I pronounce her name as Miss Maudie. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, but the way that they describe Miss Maudie is how I hope somebody describes me in the future. It's just so, everything about her seems so angelic and goddess-like, and it's just so beautiful. I know a lot of people had to read this for school, and if you read something for school, I don't think you appreciate it as much as if you didn't have to read it, you know? So I highly recommend that if you even read it already and didn't get the chance to read it on your own time, that maybe you reread it, or if you haven't read it in a long time, I suggest that you reread it again, and then we can talk about it on any of my social media, and we can chat about this book, because I think it's so beautiful so far, and I'm really happy that I got to read this for school. So yeah, definitely go check that out. So thank you guys once again so much for watching. I love you all so much. I'm really sorry that I've been absent, but I will start making videos again. And stay elevated, my friends, and I'll see you the next time I make a video. Bye.
I can take you high, I can take you low, I can speed it up, I can take it real slow. I just wanna lock it up, baby. I'm just trying to lock it up more.